Hello, 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 everyone. This is I'm Right,
I'm right.
and I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, we're here. There were a few technical problems, but we're still here.
We're here. Yay.
What about that? Ah, man, that's something else.
And we've got Really Charlie here. Hi, Really Charlie.
Never let them see you sweat.
I was saying hi to Really Charlie.
Hi, Really Charlie.
And to Chris.
Wait. You have hair like hanging down in front
That's
of
my
your...
hair. Don't be pulling my hair.
It was like one
That's
strand
actually
in
my
front of-
hair.
Yeah, I know, but it was like one strand in front of your eye.
I like it like that.
It was one strand.
Well,
You know,
by the end of the show, they'll all probably be like this.
I had one strand hanging down in front of my eye, but it was my eyebrow.
I was going to say, from where?
My eyebrow. I have one wild eyebrow, and it grows like long. I have
But not the other one?
one hair on
Oh.
my eyebrow.
Oh.
It grows long, and I have to snip it.
Okay.
Yeah. What's
Well, that
happening?
is not our topic tonight.
I thought it was. I thought it was hair care for a bald man. Right?
Well, the hat that you have that's my favorite says bad hair day.
Yeah, I'm having bad hair day.
I like that
Yes.
you wear that hat.
Well, I'm hot. I'm running around like crazy. I'm going to cool off.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want some water? I have water over here.
No, thank you. That's your water.
Okay.
I don't wanna drink
Well,
your
why don't we
water.
get into the show?
We have a show?
We're not just sitting
We're not
here
just
talking.
hanging out?
No, we are not.
Okay, let's get into the show.
Tonight's topic is about dating scams. And this is an idea of mine because in my day job, I get press releases all the time about relationships because some people confuse my day job with this. so they send me press releases at my day job about I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, one of the press releases said that dating scams, or they're calling them romance scams, are on the rise. And do you know the worst state? The state with the biggest offenders?
No, I do not, Jill, but I'm sure you're going to tell all of us. But I don't know.
Think Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
So,
Las Vegas?
So not the town, but the state. The state with the most.
So Nevada.
Yes, correct.
Nevada.
And the one with the least.
I can believe that.
Well, yes, because, a lot of people. Yeah, I can believe that too. And California actually has lost more money, but there are more people who are online dating scammers in Nevada.
Oh, okay.
But the state with the least amount, you want to guess?
Delaware.
Nope.
Rhode Island.
It's in the South.
Georgia.
Mississippi.
No comment.
Yeah, I was going to say that just silenced you, didn't it?
Yes.
So I want to talk about people who do that. For example, I get people who are trying to do that all the time. That's why I don't like Instagram, because on Instagram people will slide into your DMs and they're like, "I'm in the military," and I'm because a lot of people pretend they're in the military. It's never gotten past them telling me they're in the military.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, if they engage, like, "Oh, thank you for your service," or, something that you would say to someone in the military. "Well, thanks, but I've been deployed to X country and I don't have the money to come home. Can you send me money?"
Have you sent any money, Jill?
It's never gotten past I'm in the military with me. And if they asked, I would be like, well, why isn't the government sending you home? I don't
Yeah.
understand. So
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't fall for that. But many people do. We've watched many series that are on streaming platforms about true crimes where women were swindled out of millions, and that just blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That just blows my mind about how some people are able to do that. But one thing I do know about people who have con and fraudulent tendencies is that one thing I do know is that
Tendencies.
tendencies,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, is that they recognize who the best people are to target. Like they can immediately spot their target and know the kind of personality where they could tell you anything and you'll empty out your bank accounts. I've never been that person, but I have been deceived
Do
by
you
people who pretend to be someone they're not.
do you know that
Not catfish, but not the type of person they
yes. Do
perceive
you
to
know
be.
that there's an ongoing list? It's a scam list. So who to target for a scam? There's list. You can get a list.
Of actual names?
Yes. Emails, phone numbers, all of that of the people that are most susceptible to a scam.
They put your name on a list?
Yes. Yes. There's on the black market, there's a list.
But
And
wouldn't you think that if you've been scammed once, you might not fall for it again?
but no,
That's not how it works?
no, because what they have found, and I mean the experts, not just the scammers, is that once a person is scammed once, they're the type of personality that will fall for many different types of scams.
Oh, many
So
different types. So
not
they're
just dating, but
so their walls may go up about this type of scam, but they may be trusting about this other kind of
yeah,
scam.
they have a personality that's susceptible to scams.
Hmm. Okay.
So and I heard you say women, but
Well, no, I
men get
mean,
everyone
I'm
gets
just speaking
scammed. It doesn't.
from a woman
Yeah,
point of view. But no, I know that people of all types get, scammed because many times it starts with, the lack of self-love. Like
or it could
they
be loneliness,
little
just
loneliness,
loneliness.
or they don't feel loved and someone's showing them attention,
Hmm.
and you might be paying for those expensive gifts they're giving you, but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
hey, someone's
or
being kind to
yeah,
you.
or a pretty face. Yeah, on and as you all know, that I'm not really active in social media, but on
Really
Insta,
active?
yeah, I'm
You
not.
mean active?
No, what I'm saying is I'm
You
not
are not active.
really active. Anyway, but on my Instagram account, I get hello.
Oh yeah, I get that too. Or
I get
you'll get a text sometimes that just says hello.
hello. Yeah, I get the text that says hello,
Yep. And
hello.
it never gets past that
But
either, right?
yeah, but check this out. One time, somebody texted me and they said hello, and I'm like, oh, that's a scam. I'm not answering. And then they said hello, hello.
Hello.
and I said, "Oh, I'm not answering. This is a scam." And then they's like, "What's wrong with you? How come you're not answering my text? What's going on? We just talked, and now you're not talking to me. What's going on?"
Oh, so it
So
was a
I
wrong
still, yeah,
number.
I still ignored it, right? And then the person called me up. They're saying, "Oh, how come you're not answering?" I was like, "This is not. This is, And she called a name out, and I said, "No, this is not, Jonathan or whatever." she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been texting the wrong number. I just thought I thought
That's
Jonathan had
good.
just ghosted me or
It's a good
something."
thing she didn't send you some pictures talking about why aren't you responding?
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, I have
And Chris
never,
says it wasn't me.
I have never received this even before we were together. I have never received one of those types of pics on my phone, and I've definitely never sent one.
Same on both
Yeah,
in both
yeah, never
things
sent
because I'm
one.
like, nope.
But yes, but getting back to the topic of people that get scammed in a relationship type of scam, um, and it's not just online.
No, it's
You
not
know, it's
online. I mean, it could be in
online. You
person.
know, it's like catfished, and but a real person. So real people set out to scam other people
Right.
in
Like
a
I said,
love type
I've been
relationship.
deceived, but I haven't lost any money or anything like that. I've been deceived though. For
Yeah,
sure, for
I
sure.
mean,
For real, for real.
I know of people that were in. You know how there's a long con. You know about the long con, right?
I'm not sure.
A long con, like a con, like when somebody runs a con on you.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's just quick. You know, you go into a grocery store and somebody starts talking to you, and while they're distracting you, another person will come and take money out of your purse or something. You don't even know you're been robbed, right?
Hmm.
So that's a short con.
Hmm.
But a long con is a con that you set up for. You do a lot of research and you set it up. It could take days, it could take weeks to run this con on someone. And usually it involves big money, like really big money. So there's a long con, but I know of people that have ran the long con, and I don't even know whether you would call it a long con, but a con artist that um romances someone and marries them,
Oh,
but the whole time they're married,
they're
this
taking from their
person keeps
access from their book,
scamming them, yes,
access to
all
their
the time.
information. Their yeah,
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 and continuously scams them. Some people can do that for 10 years
yes,
before
yes,
they get found out. you know
yes.
it's insane. I don't under well, I do, but I don't. But people that do that, it's just the awful thing. To take advantage of someone
Well,
like
some
that.
people view that as their job. That's their profession.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's just a little too much, too personal.
It is. It is.
To do something like that and not lose any sleep over it.
Nope.
This is how
They were
I
like, well, they
they're
fell
like
for it.
that's right. And this is how I get mine, this is a dog eat dog world. And but, no, it doesn't. That's an awful thing to do.
It is.
Um,
Definitely.
it's one thing if like you catfish somebody, that's bad enough. But in being catfished, I always seem like the writing is on the wall. But the person that gets catfished is really like a lonely person,
They are.
usually.
They are. That's why that they, because usually they don't even live near, well, they may not even live where they say they live, but and that you
Russia.
can't see them,
Yeah.
you know. But it that show, I couldn't watch the show when that was
Yeah, you
first
remember
out.
that show?
I do. And I watched maybe one episode, and I was so sad for the
Surely must be a staged reality show. You know?
no.
Sure,
It
surely,
wasn't. Those
surely.
were real people, real situations, and that's the kind of job. If I had been the host and the creator of that show,
Mhm.
that would have just weighed on me because you inevitably have to tell the person they're being catfished, and
Yeah.
that's just that I could only watch one episode.
That's an
Chris
awful thing.
Chris says I'm at 36 years and counting. Woohoo! And
Chris probably got
also
catfished.
he did
He
not.
probably hasn't even met his wife yet.
We've talked to her. She's there.
She
We
may
talked
have-
to a woman. We didn't see her.
We never
But-
saw Chris's wife. She's always, somewhere. It's just a voice. She's just a voice. That's it. Just a voice.
Chris, I believe you.
Just a voice.
I believe you. Chris doesn't
On-
have that type of personality. Not at all. And Dave is here. Dave and Sam. Hi. Hope you all are
David,
doing well.
Sam. Woohoo. Hi, y'all. I think and for the few times I get on Instagram, I think the last thing I saw was last week they didn't have a show.
Oh.
I think that
Well, I
was.
hope
think
everything's
that
okay
was-
with you all.
Yeah, they said they'd be back this
Okay.
week. So,
Okay.
Cool. Very
Okay.
cool.
Do you
Yeah.
have more you want to say? So has anyone, so we've talked about people texting you or, trying to connect with you
Mhm.
through social media.
Yeah.
We've talked about, I get people saying they're in the military all the time on social media. Anything else am I boring you?
I was trying
Somebody's
to
over
hide
here
that.
yawning.
I've never been a victim of a romantic type of scam. However,
Like I said, I've not been a victim of a scam, but I've definitely been deceived. The person was
Yeah.
not.
but I have had
person that they
I
claim to
have
be.
had people try to scam me through a relationship.
You mean in the relationship?
No,
You
they
had
were
a
trying
relationship?
to create a relationship in order to scam me.
Oh,
But in person. It wasn't online. It was in person.
so what kinds of things were they trying, or better yet, what gave it away to you that that's what they were doing?
So I would meet a person in person, out somewhere. And, I would leave town because that was my job. I left town all the time. And, and I had the person's phone number and call and, talking. Hey, do you think you could send me money for a Coach bag? It was like I only met him once. It's like
Well, at least
you
they
meet
didn't ask for
somebody
like
in
a
a bar,
or Hermes, like
in
a
in a bar.
or Hermes bar.
Nah, nah, I can't do that. Yeah, okay, no problem. All right. Then next time we speak, it was, hey, you're my boyfriend, right?
Did you say no? I
said,
didn't
no,
know that.
I did not know that. Yes, you are. You're my boyfriend. So, you need to cover this month's rent.
Con artists know when to move on
Yeah.
quickly.
Well, being that I'm a nice guy, people.
Try to
Some
take
people,
advantage of that.
try to, think I'm a pushover, but
that
they
you're
don't
not.
know I grew up in New York. I was
Well, I don't have
born
the street smarts that you do.
understanding scams.
I don't have the street smarts that you have. But you know, one of the things I say the most often is, "Why would I do that?"
Why would I do that? Yes, you say that a
I,
lot,
I do.
but you don't only say that when it's a scam. You know, not only when it's a
Oh, not
scam.
only when it's a
Yeah,
scam, but
like
but
I'll
that
say,
is what I would
Jill,
say to scam. It's
Jill,
like, why
go
would I do?
skydiving with
Well,
me.
why would I do that?
See,
I
see,
actually did consider going the time you went. I considered going until
until you
they
didn't.
made you watch that
Yeah,
movie or the video that
film.
tells you they're not liable if you fall to your death. And I was like, well, then I'm not doing
Well,
that.
not only that if you
And all
fall
the
to your
risks that you
death,
have.
but if you fall and your parachute doesn't open and you land on somebody's house or somebody's car and kill yourself, you are liable to pay
Your
for the
estate, you mean?
damage. Yes, your estate will have to pay for the damage done to the house or the car or
Yes.
whatever you fell
I wonder how many
on.
people who actually do sign up to go skydiving when they see that video. I wonder how many back out, because that's when I was like, oh no, nope, not doing that.
Yeah, but I threw caution to the wind.
You sure did, but you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it a lot,
That's good.
and it wasn't a scam.
We all know you're the adventurous one in this couple.
Yeah, I get less adventurous the older I get. Although I would jump out
I
of
don't think
plane
that's
again.
true. I was gonna say I don't think that's
think there
the
might be
Yankee thing. Yeah.
complications because of the jump. But if I didn't have back problems, I would do it. I would not go base jumping. I will not do that one.
Me neither.
That one's just a little. And now I would just, the feeling of flying, when you go parachuting, it's great. But base jumping is a little too fast. you, you miss that ripcord, and ooh, you're done. You're done. But I would do the squirrel suit thing.
I would consider that.
So you're higher than base jumping, and you just jump and you spread your arms and start flying like a flying squirrel. So that would be cool.
Like a flying squirrel.
Yeah, that would be cool. But I probably would get hurt. I probably would run into the side of the cliff.
That's why I'm not
Oh.
as adventurous as you, because I'm quite accident prone, as
Me
you
too.
know. So they would say that's never happened before, but I'll be the one that does it. That does it.
Yeah, no,
something that they didn't think could happen.
That's why I don't get on high roofs. One of the roofs on our house is low, and I get on that roof, but the other roof is way higher. So like the lower roof, I know. Well, if I fell off the roof, I would probably live. I just might have some broken bones, but if I fell off the high roof, the chances that I died would be pretty high.
Why are we talking about this?
Oh, to let you know, I do have some sense. So I know that I'm not sure-footed. I will trip over my own feet. Yes, I would definitely do zip lining.
And he says, I've seen the video with a gator involved. That keeps me saying no. Oh, I don't do gators. But I would probably, I want to, in Kentucky, there, in the area where I grew up, they have opened a cave that has a river in it. It's called Hidden River. But it also has a zip line in the highest part of the cave. So I would do that.
Yeah, next time we'll both do that.
I will now ask Charlie, thanks to you, I will now ask, are there gators in the river below it? Because
probably.
Well, then I'm not doing that.
I was going to say, hey, as long as the gator isn't in the harness with me, I'll be good. I was in yeah, I was in
I don't do
Louisiana.
gators.
I've gone fishing all over the country, from the East Coast to the West Coast, up north and the South, all over the country. I've been fishing. And this one time, I was in La Place, Louisiana, and I wanted to go fishing. So I looked on my phone and looked at the map, and I was like, "Oh, there's water in walking distance from where I'm at. Well, cool. Let me walk over there and check it out." So I did. And it was only about a quarter mile, maybe a half mile walk. And I find the water, and I'm walking along the water, and I'll take a step, and I'll hear splash. I'm like, man, there's a lot of fish in here. I'm gonna go back to my truck and get my fishing rod and my tackle box and all of that. And then I take a few more steps, and I hear splash, 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 splash. And I look, and every time I took a step, one of the alligators would splash into the water because I was like a few feet away from it, right?
No, 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 no,
But
no.
I figured if they splash, every time I take a step, that they weren't hungry.
What made you think that?
Because they went away from me instead
Oh, I
of
thought they were coming toward you.
No, they splashed, and so they were like on the bank. And then when they heard me come close to them, they jumped into the water. Right?
That's still too close for me.
Right.
And I would never assume that the gator is not hungry.
They must not,
especially if there were 8 of
they
them.
would have came towards me, or they would have hissed at me. They would have done something other than move away from me. So I went up. I'm at the water's edge, and I'm looking in there, and I see these big, long
Eyes.
fish. I see fish in the water. The water was clear, and the fish
wasn't
were like this long.
It was really a fish or the gator?
No, they were fish.
Okay.
Well, they were actually alligator gar. So they're a garfish that has a long snout and very toothy like an alligator, but it's a fish. And people don't usually fish for them because they're like not good eating, and they're poisonous and stuff, right? So so I said, "Oh man, big garfish." So I can challenge my fishing skills by trying to catch a gar. So I did. I went and got my fishing
Why
gear.
would you try to catch a gar after the way you just described it?
That's what I saw. That's what I saw. I saw a garfish. I know there's garfish there, so I'm going to try to catch some garfish just for sport.
Why
This
not go
is a true
someplace?
story.
Oh, I believe you. But why? But why not go someplace else?
It was
Because now you've told me there are gators and there are gar, which are.
But no, catch it, you throw it back. It's catch and release. But with the gar, I'm not going to do anything with it. And I was out on the road, so I'm not going to do anything with it.
But
So
there
I
are
throw it
gators
back.
there.
Yeah, but there are big garfish there too. So I was like, well,
I don't understand.
As long as
What's
the gators are
happening? I don't
moving away from
understand.
me. So I went back.
And I want to say hi to Nadine. Hi, Nadine.
Hi, Nadine. So I went, and I know this is off topic.
It's very
but
off topic.
I went back to my truck, and I got.
And then you scammed the gators.
Yeah, that's what I did. And I got my fishing rod and my tackle box, but I have this like big Bowie knife also. So I attached that to my belt. So if a gator did come at me, I could, hit it in the snozzle.
But there are 8 of them, so that you've seen.
But they were in the water.
And they can come out of the water. Like they can
I
come
kept
to
an
you.
eye out for gators.
Oh my
I kept an eye
goodness.
out for gators. So I'm fishing, and I'm using a topwater lure. And instead of fishing by feel, I felt by sight because they were alligator gar, and their teeth are so sharp it'll cut the line. Okay, so yeah, I caught many gar. that day. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun day.
And then what? You just throw it back in?
Yeah, yeah. But it was fun. It was a fun day, all by myself.
That is no. You and I clearly have different definitions of fun.
That was fun. It was a good day of fishing with the alligator gar and the real alligator. It was a lot of fun in La Place,
So,
Louisiana.
would you do back to Charlie's original question? You would do zip lining where there are gators involved?
Yeah. Because
Mm-mm.
because there's no way they would have the zip line to where the gators could get you. You just
Well,
go
not on
over them.
purpose.
So
But
well,
remember,
them at the
like,
zip
you know,
line.
that high
No,
up.
it was no. Actually, it was a homemade zip line.
No, it wasn't. It was a public one. It was not homemade. It was not. And it
Was
wasn't
it
like
inspected?
I don't even know if they inspected
There
them
was
back then.
something with. I remember there was. I remember the story. There was something with that zip line, and it hadn't been inspected like it should have been, or it was an illegal zip
It
line. There
wasn't
was
illegal.
something.
It was a very public
There was
spot.
something. Yeah, and they had on the news, and you know how they do the public interest stories, and in they went to this zip lining place out in West Georgia, and they're on the top of this platform, and I'm looking at that platform while they're up there. That thing was rusty. Looked like the bolts are getting ready to pop out. And I'm like, nah. Now that I would not have done because it looked like it was in disrepair.
Well, you know, a few years ago, just before I left teaching, I was part of a leadership cohort, and they
See,
had a
unapproved zip line.
no. It was really a swing. It was really a swing, and so
Around the
as
corner
part
from
of
our house.
it is around the corner from our house, and you know it's like in the woods, and you know it's like in the woods. And as a cohort, have to rely on each other. You know, for those of us who have trust issues, especially
Mhm.
with colleagues, right?
Yeah.
So we had to encourage each other and rely on each other, and then we got to a spot where you did this swing, almost like a zip line, except it was a swing, but it you know it was high up like
Almost
that.
like a zip line, but it was a swing.
Well, I mean, it moved. It was as high up. It started on a platform. It had the
It
line.
was a
But
high swing.
these people, right? And I didn't see the point of doing this, right?
Yeah.
But you know, we were not going to be able to leave unless we all did it. So we did it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and they had a photographer to take all of our pictures. So on the last day of this leadership week, they had a whole video, you know, of different highlights of the
Did they take stills?
yes.
How come I never saw it the still?
Why would I show you that?
Because I wanted to see.
Why
you
would I
like-
show you that? Why would I do that? No, mine was kind of like I was looking at everybody like I was mad. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, so that was my expression, right? But there was this one woman, and we all had to laugh because she was just like I mean, terror on her face, like, you know. But they laughed at me too because I was just I was giving them all the side eyes. Came down like, come on, people. There are better ways to show that you know trust people. And why do I have to trust you all anyway? I don't even work with you all. You all are in all different departments. But anyway, I survived. But I kept looking around because I was like, you know, we're in the woods. Georgia has snakes.
Yeah.
Georgia has spiders.
Many states have snakes.
I know. But no one else seemed concerned about that. We're in the woods, and it's, you know, like hot.
Around the corner from our house.
I've seen snakes in the road.
A symbiotic relationship. Yes, we did. So, yes. You made me.
Charlie says gators got hops.
Hop up and get you.
And then he says, oh no, but I don't know to which part he was talking about.
Is that it? Just trust
Yes.
issues?
Yes.
So,
And gators and you and Gar.
alligator gar.
Okay.
There's a difference between a regular gar and an alligator gar. So
Yep.
just so you
Charlie
know.
summed it up. Dating scams, snakes, and gators.
And gators. All right.
Uh-oh. Did I just get out of the show?
No. You are still here. I can see that you are in the show. You're just pressing buttons and don't know what you're pressing.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, so
Tony, you press buttons all the time.
I do press buttons. One time I was dating this woman and I was at her house and I saw this cord, like an electric cord, and it was just laying on the floor. And at
You
the
don't like to
end,
see cords.
yeah, but at the end of the cord, there was a button at the end of the cord. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck is this? Let me press the button. And I pressed the button. I pressed the button, and nothing happened. So the button
I hope this doesn't go where I think it is.
button was in her bedroom, right? And she was in the kitchen doing something, right? And I said, "Hey, what's that? That cord with a button on the end of it." She said, "You didn't press it, did you?" I said, "Yeah, I pressed it a whole bunch of times, and nothing happened." And as soon as I said nothing happened, that's when the door knock, 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 knock. It's the police. She's like, that's the panic button. All the apartments have them, a panic button, and the police will come. So yeah, it was the police, and it was hard for me not to get arrested.
So you say, "Uh-oh," which scares the daylights out of me because I don't know what you're doing.
I don't press buttons that I don't know what they are in
That is
someone else's house. So I learned my lesson. I don't do that
But you
in
still
someone
do it
else's.
to my stuff.
That's your phone. What's going to happen?
Things can happen. That's why I don't let you touch my laptop.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
I just deleted your whole manuscript. Uh-oh. I just did,
I know how a lot of stuff works because I press buttons. What's this do? What's that do? What's this do?
See, you didn't learn your lesson. Clearly, you did not learn your lesson.
I did learn my lesson because
Charlie says press, 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 press.
Yeah, I don't press buttons in someone else's house.
I don't think that's true.
Case in point, we all had an issue on Fireside with our screens just going black during our shows, and it wasn't supposed to do that.
That's true. It did happen to me when I was
and it was happening to you, and it was happening to Really Charlie. And I sent Really Charlie a text. I said, "Hey, I don't know why it's doing it. It's not doing it on my phone, and I have a later model iPhone." I said, "But I will figure out how to take care of this for you and Jill." So
you did press a bunch of buttons.
I got
you
the
did
phone
figure it
and
out.
I start pressing buttons, and then I figured out, and I was able to send him a text, do this, 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 and this, and you'll either fix it or break it. And fortunately, most of the time I fix it. So it's all good.
That's a whole other show.
But I know how to fix a lot of stuff now.
You do. You do. I'll give you that. I'll give you
it's
that.
It's not just pressing buttons.
So what does it take? Is it hard for you to trust people that you first meet?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Like, are you asking me that question, or is that a general question?
I'm asking you first. Like, but is it hard for you to try? Because I sometimes think that the people who don't ever get scammed don't trust anybody. Like, it's hard for them to trust people.
No, even people like that can get scammed.
True.
And usually,
I'm not saying that we're all above that. We're not.
And
like I said, I have definitely been deceived.
Yes. Well, now if you grew up in a major city that had high crime in it, okay,
which I did not.
but I was, and let's say really Charlie was. And then later, when he grew up, he became an officer. Okay. Um,
He's calling you Mr. Fix It Man.
yeah, I actually am. I had a handyman business. I just didn't like it, so I quit.
Well, I had to remind you that you didn't like it. But anyway, you were saying.
So, when you grow up in a major city, a high crime city, you learn about scams, variants, but from your friends. Now, if you grew up in a neighborhood where many of your friends were thieves and scam artists and all of that, then you learn even more.
Yes, because you learn how they do it.
Right.
Mhm.
So if you grow up in that type of environment, what people do to pass the time is practice a scam.
What do you mean practice?
A car. Okay.
But is it practice,
Or-
or are they actually breaking in or stealing a car?
Or cracking a safe.
Is it practice, or are they actually
Or-
cracking a safe?
Or picking a lock.
You know people who know how to crack a safe?
I've cracked a safe before. But just for practice. Just
Practice
to kill,
for what?
Just to kill the time.
But practice to do what?
You hanging out with your friends. Hey, let's see. And somebody might have a safe in their house. Hey, let's see if we can crack this safe.
Did you take the content of the
Oh,
contents of
absolutely
the safe?
not.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Absolutely not. Or like pickpocketing. Let's practice being a pickpocket. So
But why?
that's so they could pick somebody's pocket.
So you're practicing for the real thing.
But I didn't, but I practiced with them.
But when you practice, aren't you pickpocketing somebody?
No, we practiced on each other.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha. But how does that work if you know that that's what's happening? How is
If-
someone able to pickpocket you if you know that they're going to pickpocket
Then
you?
you say whether you felt it or not.
Okay.
So if somebody comes, they're gonna pickpocket you, and you say, "Oh, I felt that," and then they'll tweak it. I still felt it. Then they'll tweak
I'm
it.
learning.
One night, we're all sitting out on the curb in my neighborhood, and we're all just sitting there, just talking. Summer night, just talking. And this car, and it was like in their car. A lot of cars didn't have air conditioning back then in New York. And he rolls up in this car and he yells out and he stops and he yells out the window, "Hey, a car just broke down on the Southern State Parkway." Next thing I know, I was the only one sitting on the curb.
Because everyone went to...
Everybody got up, got in the car, and they went there to strip the car. Okay. But then, I used to practice stripping cars with them.
Charlie wants to know if you have mafia ties.
No comment.
In the world of journalism, no comment is a comment, right?
No comment. Well, here's the deal. In New York, you always was going to know somebody in the mafia. You always did.
I knew some people in the mafia when I worked at MSNBC and was in that area. I knew them.
Yeah. You're always going to know somebody that's in the mafia, or their parents are in the mafia, or a lot of stuff. You couldn't even do business in certain. Everybody had some type of connection somehow to somebody in the mafia. And quite often it wouldn't be people you would expect.
So back to my question.
What's the question?
Trust. Easy, difficult?
Oh, yeah. I never did answer that question.
You did not.
In New York, no, you do not trust anyone initially. And that's why things, man, I'll kick your ass. You don't be looking at me. Say it's time to fight. Because they're looking at you because you think, and you think they're going to try to do something to you. They're going to try to run a scam on you. They're going to try to rob you. They're going to try to do something, or somebody else is doing something while they're trying to distract you. Now, here's the problem with people that live in that environment. They begin to not know the difference between what is good and what is bad. So, everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, many of the people in New York, it was a common thing to buy something that you knew was stolen. And then you would bargain on that. Because if you knew it was stolen, you had to pay at least 50% off cost. Okay? So, but here's where the problem comes in. People that buy hot stuff off the street often get ripped off.
Well, that's true. That's true. I remember one time, actually, when I
bought
was
a box of rocks.
one time when I was at MSNBC, I was actually leaving MSNBC. I put it in my notice and everything, but they sent work out of the DC bureau. My last 6 weeks I was there. So in doing so, I stayed at this really ritzy hotel. They put me up there, but the first time I got there, by the time I got there, my luggage was just like all falling apart. Like it was almost like someone had just ripped it.
Mhm.
And so a man that worked with luggage like this.
Your luggage is
Yeah,
done.
you're right. And I said, yeah, it's like, I don't know when I'm going to have time to go look for another piece of luggage while I'm here. And, because I was going back and forth, on
You were
the
busy.
weekends. I was busy.
Yeah.
So, but also flying back and forth,
Yeah, don't hit me.
to home.
Don't
I'm not
hit
going to
me. It
hit
was-
you.
it was like
I was
pop,
like
pop,
this.
pop, pop, pop,
I wasn't
pop.
near you. I was I am
I'd have
accident
been
prone though.
You
So
saw
I
it
could
here. Pop, 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 pop.
I might have done that. So, so when we had this conversation, I gave him a tip. He left, and I got comfortable in my room. And then there's a little while later, it was like, I don't know, 30 minutes later, not even an hour. Knock, knock, knock on my door. And I'm looking, I look out the peephole. Well, I have to like tiptoe because they had really high peepholes.
Jump.
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 And so it was the same man, and so I opened. I was like, "Is something wrong?" And he goes, "You have a choice." And he had like three luggage there,
Three different pieces.
Three different pieces of luggage, and I was like, "Is this your lost and found?" He goes, "Yeah, that's what we'll say. That is what we'll say." And he just gave me one of them.
That was nice.
That was nice. So I was just like, please don't tell me stories like that again. Please don't tell me stories like that again.
Did the luggage have anyone's name on it?
Nope.
Okay, well, they cleaned it. It was good. It's untraceable. It won't come back.
I don't know where it came from. I did not ask questions, but I was grateful, and he didn't make me pay for it. I was grateful.
That was very nice.
So all I know was it did not come from the
lost and found.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, where I lived, if you needed tires,
Charlie,
know this to be true. What I'm getting ready to say. So in certain cities, if you need a set of tires for your car, you don't go to Sears, you don't go to Goodyear, you put your order in, and at about 4 o'clock in the morning, you will have 4 tires.
Already put on your vehicle?
No, the
Oh.
tires just show up, or you'll have to meet someone somewhere to get the tires. So you could,
At 4 o'clock in the morning?
yes,
Mm.
yes, around 4 o'clock. Yeah, you put your, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning is the time. And that's because that's when the drug addicts are really joning. If they hadn't got their hit by then, if by then they're really, really desperate, and you put that order in, and they'll get what you need. But that's part of life. But it's so bad that, show's almost over, y'all. Cause just like
I'm
just
pointing
done.
now.
Anyway, so it's so bad that your mind doesn't know that stealing is wrong anymore. And so, like, when I didn't chain it good enough, I didn't lock it good enough, I knew better than to park there. I didn't, you blame yourself because you know all the ways that you can get ripped off or something stolen from you. So you play out in your mind what happened.
Well, I am surprised
Yeah.
at the number of people in the state we live in now that just
I still
leave their
don't lock their
their
cars.
houses. They just
Leave their
leave
laptops
everything,
on the
out in the
seat.
open. Like I don't understand that.
Leave
But
their
constantly,
car.
news
Look,
reports
check
remind people that they should
check
lock
this
things
out.
up.
In Atlanta, Georgia, in Metro Atlanta, people still leave their keys in the car or in the visor, right? And
I
then
don't
and their
understand that.
doors unlocked, and then they'll say, "I don't understand why my car got stolen. The door was closed, but the keys were in it."
Constantly in local news, they have to remind people to lock their doors or not
Lock your
put
car, lock your
valuables
car,
in sight and things like
lock
that.
your car.
But I did not grow up. Everybody knows I grew up in a national park, so we didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't have the same crime-ridden area that you grew up in.
Time's up.
But
Time's up. Show's over. Time's up. We don't.
but my spidey senses were always heightened around people. Like I've never had trust issues, but
Okay.
but my spidey senses were always
But
heightened.
that's good. That's good.
Now you can end the show.
Yeah. Do you think that being a journalist? Do you think that
Well, in Journalism 101, they teach you things that people do when they're not telling you the truth. Just from looking at them, there are many signs. My students used to try to get me to tell them what those signs were so that they wouldn't do it, but I would never tell them. And I always knew when they were lying to me.
Yeah, that's right.
I always knew.
All right. Well, we've been here for an hour. We have been here for an hour. This is the wrong pad here. What's going on? There we go. So, yeah, we're going to start ending this Problems on the Fireside. So, if for all of a sudden we have shows scheduled and they disappear, just all of a
Just
sudden
gone. There's no show. Even if it's scheduled.
We'll be in touch. We'll
Through our
let you know.
websites.
Yeah. So, my website is knowtobestill.com. KNOW.
The number
Number
2,
2, letter B.com.
still.com.
Yeah, knowtobestill.com. I left the still
You
out.
left the still out.
Oh, yeah.
And mine is
knowtobestill.com.
jillcoxcordova.com. So,
Yeah.
But that's in the fortune cookie. You can find us.
And we'll we'll talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll be here next week. Maybe we won't.
That is true. That is
We
true.
do have
That
it
is true.
scheduled, but we don't know.
Oh,
We'll
guess
see.
no show this week, chill. But it's okay. It's okay.
It's all good.
All is good. All is good. All is good. And as usual, we really do love you all.
We do. We love you.
Doing this show. We love being here on Fireside. And we'll do it as long as we can. Yes, we will. Anything else we have to add?
That's it.
That's it. That's
Love
it.
you all.
Love you all.